worldwide for its rich environmental and natural resources. Yet, despite this, the Philippines consistently ranks as one of the most vulnerable countries to the climate crisis, meaning, when the effects of climate crisis are most felt, we are some of the most unprepared countries in the world to handle the devastation.
We have already seen the damage Typhoon Yolanda has brought about to our country, with over 6,000 deaths and $13 billion worth of loss. With the 1.5-degree limit set by the Paris Accord is not met, we will experience super typhoons more frequently than we ever have before, which also equates to more deaths and losses, especially to the poorest of the poor in this country.
The Philippines' susceptibility to the devastating effects of the climate crisis can be attributed to several factors. First, plastic pollution. The Philippines is highly dependent on single-use plastics, consuming a staggering 163 million pieces of sachets and 57 million shopping bags every day. We are also one of the world's worst offenders on marine plastic pollution, with 0.28 to 0.75 million tons per year of plastic entering the oceans from coastal areas. This has led to the country possibly facing a shortage of water for sanitation, drinking, agriculture, and industrial purposes in the next decade.
Another factor is deforestation. Over the course of the 20th century, the forest cover of the country has dropped significantly from 70% down to 20%. In fact, only 3.2% of the total rainforest is left in the country. This is an alarming statistic considering that the Philippines relies heavily on its forests to sustain its biodiversity as well as combat the effects of climate change. However, hope is not lost. There is still time for us to restore our environment.
Let us hold corporations and the government accountable to making climate justice, the most holistic approach to climate change mitigation in the Philippines, a priority. Let us enjoin companies to promote proper waste reduction and management systems that will mandate companies to be more responsible for the products they create. Let's encourage them in the production of sustainable technology and the adoption of greener business strategies, such as slowly moving to cleaner and renewable energy and coordinating with agencies and government units to measure, analyze, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to mitigate the effects of the climate change crisis in the Philippines.
The Philippines is recognized to have one of the best environmental laws around the world. Yet, the implementation of these laws has been left wanting, to say the least. Thus, there is a need for the government to properly enforce and implement existing policies that seek to protect and promote our rich environmental natural resources. Let's make a collective call and urge the government to further aid us in this fight against the climate crisis by phasing out coal-powered power plants, considerably lowering greenhouse gas emissions, as well as increasing funding for renewable energy and projects that can provide emission reductions for the country.
Most importantly, we can all play our part in combating this crisis by personally campaigning for the environment, spreading awareness, educating people on the harms of the climate crisis, and performing our own little acts to promote a healthier environment. Let's start small by switching from the use of single-use plastics to reusable and recyclable items. Our fight against climate change doesn't solely rely on the government and the companies that produce the waste. We must unite as a nation and work together to provide a safer, healthier world for our future and the future generations to come.
Let's be warriors for change.